In a forgotten village, far from busy cities and modern life, lived a 14-year-old girl named Sofia. She was the oldest of 7 children. Every morning she woke up before sunrise. She lit the fire, prepared breakfast, carried water from the well, fed the animals, cleaned the house, and spent the rest of the day caring for her younger brothers and sisters while her parents worked in the fields. For Sofia, childhood had never meant playing. It meant responsibility. Every morning she watched a few children from the village walk past her house with school bags on their backs. She stood quietly by the window until they disappeared down the road. Then she returned to her chores. One afternoon, her best friend Emma noticed the sadness in her eyes. "Do you wish you could go to school too?" she asked. Sofia smiled sadly. More than anything in the world. From that day on, Emma secretly brought her old notebooks and worn-out school books. Every evening after the entire family had fallen asleep, the 2 girls met in the old barn. By the light of a small oil lamp, Emma taught Sofia how to read and write. Sofia learned with incredible determination. Within months, she was reading simple stories. Soon she began teaching her younger brothers and sisters. She wrote letters in flour while making bread. She drew the alphabet in the dirt with a stick. Learning became their little secret. Years passed. When Sofia turned 16, her father announced that it was time for her to get married. In their community, this was tradition. Girls married young and started families. Sofia looked at her father with tears in her eyes. "Father, I don't want to get married. I want to study." Silence filled the room. Her father became furious. To him, refusing marriage meant refusing the family's traditions. From that day on, Sofia was punished. She was no longer allowed to leave the yard. Her notebooks were taken away. She was forbidden to see Emma. She worked from sunrise until late at night. But no punishment could change her dream. Every night after everyone had gone to sleep, she took a piece of charcoal from the stove and practiced writing on an old wooden board. Before sunrise, she carefully wiped everything away. Then she began another day of hard work. One evening, her youngest brother whispered, "Sofia, why do you keep learning?" She gently smiled and hugged him. "Because one day I want all of you to go to school, even if I never had the chance." A few months later, Sofia's Aunt Elena came to visit. She hadn't been back to the village in years. During her stay, she quietly watched everything. She saw Sofia working harder than anyone else. She noticed that the girl always made sure her brothers and sisters had enough to eat before serving herself. Late one night, Aunt Elena woke up to get a glass of water. She noticed a faint light coming from the barn. Curious, she walked closer. Through the slightly open door, she saw Sofia sitting on the floor with her younger brothers and sisters gathered around her. Using an old notebook, she patiently taught them the alphabet. The youngest boy proudly read his very first words. Aunt Elena stood there in silence. The next morning, she asked her brother to walk outside with her. "Do you remember who raised you after our mother passed away?" He nodded. "You did. If I had been forced to marry at 16, who would have taken care of you?" He lowered his head. She continued softly. "Your daughter isn't running away from work. She works harder than anyone in this family. The only thing she's asking for is a chance. She's not dreaming only for herself. She's dreaming of a better future for her brothers and sisters." Her brother said nothing. That evening, he quietly walked into the barn. He watched Sofia teaching the younger children. No one had asked her to do it. She did it because she loved them. For the first time, he understood. His daughter wasn't fighting against her family, she was fighting for it. He stepped forward. "Sofia?" She immediately stood up, expecting another punishment. Instead, her father looked into her eyes and said, "I'll give you one chance. Go and study. If God placed this dream in your heart, who am I to take it away?" Sofia couldn't hold back her tears. She hugged her father without saying a word. Years passed. Sofia finished school. Then she graduated from university and became a teacher. Although she was offered good jobs in the city, she chose to return to the village where she had grown up. She hadn't forgotten the little girl who used to stand by the window every morning, watching other children walk to school. With the help of local authorities and people who believed in her dream, Sofia opened a small school for children from poor families. She went from house to house, speaking with parents. She explained that education would not take their children away from them. It would give them opportunities they had never had. The first students to walk through the school gates were her own younger brothers and sisters. Every morning, as she watched dozens of children laughing and running into their classrooms, Sofia smiled. Not because she had fulfilled her dream, but because no child in her village would ever have to stand outside the school gate, wondering what it felt like to learn. On the day the school officially opened, her father stood quietly at the back of the crowd. With tears in his eyes, he walked over to his daughter. "I thought letting you study would mean losing the person who helped this family the most. Today I understand. Education didn't just change your life. It changed the future of our entire village." Sofia embraced him. Sometimes all it takes is one child brave enough to dream, to give hundreds of others the chance to dream too.